Hey guys, tonight we're going on a little trip, a journey not through space, but through an unfathomable stretch of time. Imagine, if you will, waking up in a world so utterly transformed, so alien, that every fiber of your being screams in protest. We're talking about Earth, 1 billion years from now, a place where the very air you breathe, the ground beneath your feet, and the sun in the sky are all hostile, unrecognizable forces. This isn't your cozy backyard. This is the ultimate survival challenge. And let's be honest, you probably wouldn't last a single day. But isn't that part of the morbid fascination? So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Now, if you're ready, tell me where you're listening from and what time it is for you. All right, dim the lights, close your eyes, and picture yourself traveling through time. You stir, a deep, unsettling ache in your bones, as if you've been compressed and stretched across eons. Your eyelids flutter open, but the light that assaults them is not the gentle, familiar glow of your own sun. This is a brutal, searing brilliance, a sun swollen and angry, an immense, reddish-orange orb dominating a sky that is less blue and more a hazy, oppressive ochre. The air, when you try to draw it into your lungs, feels like sandpaper and tastes of metal and something acrid. A chemical burn that makes your throat constrict. A thin, constant whine, almost imperceptible but undeniably present, vibrates through the very ground beneath you. A hum that seems to emanate from the core of this impossible future. You push yourself up, your muscles protesting, and find yourself on a vast, cracked plain. The ground isn't Earth as you know it. It's a tessellation of dried, reddish plates, like shattered pottery stretching to an indistinct horizon. There are no trees, no grass, no familiar landmarks. Just this endless, desolate expanse under that terrifying, expanded sun. It's hard to reconcile this scorched, alien world with the vibrant, living planet you once knew. You try to remember the lush greens, the deep blues of the oceans, the fluffy white clouds, but the images feel distant, like faded photographs. This is Earth. Yes, but it is an Earth that has undergone a metamorphosis so profound it borders on the mythological. Your first instinct is to find shelter, but there's nothing. Not a rock, not a crevice, nothing but the endless, cracked plain and the relentless glare. The heat is a physical weight, pressing down on you, making your skin prickle and your eyes water. You start to walk. A desperate, stumbling gait, driven by an instinct for survival that feels almost futile in this landscape of ultimate despair. With each step, the fine, reddish dust billows up, coating your clothes, your hair, settling in your nostrils, and making each breath more laborious. It's like breathing in powdered rust and something else, something chemically reactive. As you trek onward, the silence is profound, broken only by that faint, omnipresent hum and the ragged sound of your own breathing. No birds sing, no insects buzz, no wind whispers through unseen foliage. It's the silence of a tomb, a planetary mausoleum. You strain your ears, hoping for any familiar sound, a sign of life. But there is only this echoing emptiness. The vastness of it all, the sheer, unimaginable scale of time that has passed, begins to press in on you, a dizzying weight that threatens to crush your spirit. You are utterly, completely alone in a world that has forgotten what humanity even means. Suddenly, a faint shimmer on the horizon catches your eye. It's too regular, too geometric to be a natural formation. Hope, a fragile, desperate thing, flickers within you. You push harder, ignoring the burning in your lungs, the aching in your legs. As you draw closer, the shimmer resolves into colossal, fragmented structures. They rise from the plain like broken teeth, massive shards of some dark, glassy material, twisted and corroded by eons of exposure. These aren't mountains, they are ruins. You stand before them, dwarfed by their scale. They must have been immense, towering cities or colossal industrial complexes. Now, they are nothing but skeletal remains, picked clean by time. The materials they're made of are unfamiliar, a dense, dark composite that glints strangely in the harsh sunlight. You reach out, touching the smooth, cold surface of one of the colossal fragments. It feels ancient, impossibly old, carrying the weight of 1 billion years in its silent, unyielding form. As you explore the base of one of these shattered giants, you notice something peculiar, etched into the dark. Vitrified surface are faint, almost indecipherable patterns. They are not carvings in the traditional sense, but more like imprints, as if something incredibly hot and massive had been pressed into the material. You trace a finger over one of them, a series of concentric circles intersected by jagged lines. It's impossible to tell if they are decorative, functional, or perhaps even a form of language. What civilization built these? What cataclysm reduced them to this? These are the silent monuments of a forgotten age, holding secrets that will never be revealed to you. The air continues to torment you. It's thick, almost viscous, and carries a faint, persistent metallic tang, like old blood mixed with ozone. You try to filter it through your shirt, but it does little good. Your throat is raw, and a persistent cough racks your body. You begin to feel lightheaded, your vision blurring at the edges. It's clear this atmosphere is not compatible with human life. Perhaps it's a lack of oxygen, or perhaps it's the presence of some novel, toxic gas. Historians still debate whether the Great Oxygenation Event truly paved the way for complex life, or if later atmospheric shifts were even more critical. But here, 1 billion years from now, that debate is academic. This air is simply deadly. You stumble further, driven by the vague hope that within these ruins, you might find something, anything, to alleviate your suffering or simply offer a moment of respite from the brutal elements. You squeeze through a narrow gap between two leaning sections of what might have been a wall, entering a cavernous space. The air here is marginally cooler, a slight reprieve from the scorching external heat. But it is also still and heavy, laden with the dust of ages. The only light comes from cracks in the ceiling, shafts of that angry, reddish sun slicing through the gloom, illuminating motes of dust dancing in the stillness. You notice something else, something truly bizarre. Embedded within the fused, dark material of the walls are crystalline structures, not natural geological formations, but clearly artificial. They pulse with a faint, internal luminescence, a soft, almost imperceptible glow that seems to ebb and flow with a slow, deliberate rhythm. These aren't simple light sources. They seem alive, or at least, powered by some unknown energy. You carefully reach out, your fingers hovering inches from one of the glowing crystals. It emanates a faint warmth, like a living thing, and a tiny, almost inaudible hum joins the world's pervasive drone. This is a detail few would ever consider, but the persistence of energy, even in a ruin so ancient, is truly astounding. It suggests a technology so advanced, so self-sustaining, that it defies your understanding. Remember that crocodile dung sunscreen we talked about? This is on another level entirely. As you explore deeper into the ruin, the structures become more intricate, hinting at complex machinery or perhaps artistic expression that now lies silent and broken. You pass by immense, circular depressions in the floor, perfectly smooth, as if giant gears once turned there. Or perhaps they were the foundations for some incredibly powerful energy conduits. One thing is certain. Whatever once inhabited this place possessed capabilities far beyond anything you've ever witnessed. You try to imagine the beings who walk these halls, who built these colossal monuments, but your mind struggles to grasp such an alien existence. What would they have looked like? What were their dreams, their fears? The silence offers no answers, only questions. You let out a short, hollow laugh. Guess I'm not going to be asking for directions, am I? The sound echoes strangely in the vast space, a small, defiant burst against the immense quiet. You find yourself drawn to a central chamber, larger than the rest, where the glowing crystals are more numerous and pulse with a slightly stronger intensity. In the center of this chamber, half buried in the reddish dust, is a vast, smooth disk of the same dark, vitrified material as the walls. It's perfectly circular, perhaps 50 feet across, and etched with the same intricate, indecipherable patterns you saw outside as you approach. A faint warmth emanates from it, and the air here feels subtly different, less harsh, almost breathable. No. That's just your mind playing tricks on you, offering a fleeting moment of hope in a world where hope is a luxury you can't afford. But the sensation is undeniable. This disk feels like the heart of the ruin, the focal point of whatever grand purpose these structures once served. Perhaps it was a generator, a communication device, or even a portal to somewhere else. But now, it's just a silent testament to a grandeur long gone, a faint warmth in a world that offers no comfort. You press on. The phantom warmth of the disk, a fleeting memory as the brutal reality of this future Earth reasserts itself. The light from the angry sun deepens from reddish-orange to a richer, more ominous crimson as you move further from the ruin. The very air seeming to thicken with its intensity, the ground remains the same. Those endless, cracked plates. But now, faint undulations appear in the distance, suggesting a more varied topography, perhaps even the remnants of ancient mountain ranges worn down by eons of erosion and cosmic bombardment. Your eyes, gritty from the dust and strain, scan the horizon for any new detail, any sign of a different kind of challenge, or, perhaps, a different kind of oblivion. The constant metallic tang in the air becomes more pronounced, almost cloying. You start to feel a persistent, dull ache behind your eyes, a pressure building in your sinuses. It's like breathing in the dust from 1,000 forgotten factories, combined with the ozone smell of a perpetual electrical storm. You wonder what fundamental shifts in Earth's geology or cosmic environment could have led to such a radically altered atmosphere. The question of whether Earth's magnetic field decayed completely or simply shifted its poles dramatically remains a subject of intense academic debate, with profound implications for atmospheric retention. But for you, here and now, the implications are much simpler. Each breath feels like a slow, deliberate act of self-poisoning. You cough, a harsh, dry sound that seems to crack the oppressive silence around you. Well, at least I don't have to worry about allergies. You rasp, the words feeling alien and dry in your own throat, as you continue your laborious trek. The undulations in the distance grow into unmistakable, though severely eroded, mountain ranges. Their peaks are flattened, their valleys filled with the ubiquitous reddish dust, giving them the appearance of ancient, slumbering giants half buried by time. You aim for them. The desperate hope for a change of scenery, perhaps even some form of natural shelter, spurring you on. The sun, Meanwhile, seems to grow larger, more menacing, a silent observer to your struggle. Its light casts long, distorted shadows that stretch across the cracked plain, making the landscape even more surreal and disorienting. You notice a strange phenomenon as you draw closer to the mountains. The air above the plain begins to shimmer intensely, not just from the heat, but with an almost liquid quality, distorting your view of the distant peaks. It's like looking through a thick, undulating pane of glass. This is no mirage. It feels like a physical property of the air itself. Perhaps some localized atmospheric density or the effect of previously unimagined energy fluctuations. It adds another layer of unreality to your already overwhelming situation, making every step feel like you're traversing a dreamscape. The ground underfoot starts to change, becoming less like cracked pottery and more like vitrified glass, smooth and dangerously slick in places. It shines with a faint, obsidian-like sheen under the crimson sun. You realize these aren't natural rock formations. These are vast, solidified oceans of former molten rock, perhaps the result of truly colossal asteroid impacts or hypervolcanic activity. This is the desert of glass that the outline promised, and it is far more vast and desolate than you could have imagined. Your boots, already worn, slip precariously on the slick surface, making your progress even slower and more agonizing. You stumble and fall, skinning your knee on the glassy surface. A thin, dark liquid, almost black, oozes from the wound. It stings, not with the familiar bite of blood, but with a deeper, more chemical burn. You quickly wipe it away, a chill of alarm running down your spine. Even your own bodily fluids seem alien here, altered by the extreme conditions, or perhaps by the very composition of the air you're forced to breathe. This small injury is a stark reminder of your fragility in this hostile future. As you rise, you notice something embedded in the glassy ground near where you fell. It's a small, perfectly spherical object, no bigger than a marble, but it glows with a faint, internal blue light. You cautiously pick it up. It's warm to the touch and surprisingly light. It feels almost alive, humming with a barely perceptible vibration. What is it? A forgotten piece of advanced technology, a remnant of some ancient, unknown life form. It feels entirely out of place in this barren landscape, a tiny beacon of mystery in a world of desolation. This is one of those bizarre, little-known details that would stump even the most learned archaeologists from your own time. You pocket it, a strange, inexplicable comfort in its presence, a tangible connection to a past or future you can barely comprehend. The sheer scale of these vitrified plains is mind-numbing. They stretch for what seems like endless miles in every direction, reflecting the angry sun in a distorted, fractured kaleidoscope of crimson and orange. The mountains, which once seemed like a destination, now appear impossibly far away, fading into the heat haze. You begin to question your ability to even reach them. The air continues to burn, the sun continues to sear, and the vast, glassy expanse reflects your isolation back at you. You let out a sigh, a wheezing, desperate sound that feels lost in the immensity of the silence. Just keep walking, you murmur to yourself. Just keep walking. It's a mantra, a desperate attempt to push back against the creeping despair. You notice, with a jolt, that the light from the strange blue orb in your pocket seems to pulsate faintly in sync with your heartbeat. Or is it just your imagination, your mind, deprived of oxygen and pushed to its limits, begins to play tricks on you? You try to focus on the external world, on the endless glass desert, on the distant, shimmering mountains. But the internal sensations, the burning lungs, the aching head, the subtly altered blood are overwhelming. As you drag your feet across the slippery, glassy surface, you start to perceive faint, swirling patterns embedded within the vitrified ground itself. They are not etched on the surface, but within the material, like frozen currents or solidified whispers. Are these natural formations from the rapid cooling of molten rock, or are they ghost imprints of something that once existed here? Now absorbed and preserved in this glassy tomb, it's impossible to tell. But they add another layer of unsettling beauty to the otherwise desolate landscape. Archaeologists in your time still extensively debate the true nature of vitrified ruins, often disagreeing on whether the vitrification was a deliberate act of destruction, a byproduct of hyper-advanced energy weapons, or simply the result of extreme natural phenomena. Here, the evidence is everywhere, but the answer remains maddeningly out of reach. The sun continues its slow, majestic arc across the sky, its colossal size a constant, terrifying reminder of the vast cosmic forces at play. You realize, with a chilling certainty, that this sun is reaching the end of its main sequence. It's burning hotter, expanding, slowly engulfing its inner planets. This is why the Earth is so scorched, why the oceans are gone, why the atmosphere is so toxic. You are witnessing the death throes of a star and the slow, inevitable demise of a planet. You are simply too late, by a billion years, to do anything about it. Well, at least I won't have to pay my student loans, you mumble, a dark chuckle escaping your lips. Your body is screaming for rest, for water, for air that doesn't feel like poison. But there is no rest, no water, and certainly no breathable air. You lean against a low, rounded ridge of the vitrified glass, your chest heaving. The blue orb in your pocket feels strangely heavy now, its faint pulse a steady thrum against your thigh. You take it out again. Holding it up to the crimson light of the sun, the blue light intensifies slightly, as if drinking in the harsh energy. Is it absorbing something? Is it a device? Or just a pretty, glowing stone? The mystery is almost a welcome distraction from the searing pain in your lungs. You force yourself back up, the mountains still a distant, shimmering promise, each step on the slick, unforgiving surface is a struggle, a battle of will against the overwhelming odds. The thought that you probably won't survive the day is no longer a morbid curiosity, but a stark, undeniable truth. Yet, a strange, primal stubbornness keeps you moving. To what end? You don't know. Perhaps just to see what lies beyond the next ridge, to witness one more impossible wonder, or one more horrifying reality, before the inevitable takes hold. The silence of the glass desert stretches out before you, an endless, shimmering expanse reflecting a dying sun, and in its heart, you, alone, struggling echo of a forgotten world. The glassy plain finally begins to give way, not to solid earth, but to vast, undulating basins. The faint, metallic tang in the air intensifies, now laced with a subtle saltiness that pricks at your tongue. You realize, with a chilling certainty, what these immense depressions are: the skeletal remains of Earth's once mighty oceans. The water is long gone, evaporated by the sun's relentless expansion, leaving behind vast, salt-encrusted canyons stretching to the horizon. It's a vision of oceanic death, silent and profound, far more terrifying than any storm-tossed sea. You descend into one of these ancient ocean beds, the ground becoming a mix of brittle salt crystals and fine, abrasive dust. The air here is even heavier, denser, and the saltiness becomes almost suffocating. It's as if the very essence of the vanished sea has been distilled into the atmosphere, a constant reminder of the life that once thrived in these now empty depths. Your lungs burn with each inhale, the sensation of breathing in tiny, sharp crystals of salt becoming unbearable. You cough, a dry, rasping sound that feels like sandpaper tearing at your throat. At least I'm getting my daily dose of sodium, you quip, a weak, humorless jest. As you trek deeper into the basin, the scale of the vanished oceans truly hits you. Imagine the Pacific, the Atlantic, reduced to nothing but these enormous, desiccated bowls. The silence here is absolute, broken only by the crunch of your boots on the salt and the desperate rhythm of your own breathing. No waves crash, no gulls cry, no marine life stirs. It's the sound of ultimate absence, a profound emptiness that resonates with the emptiness inside you. The blue orb in your pocket still pulses faintly, a tiny, incongruous bead of light in this desolate, sun-scorched world. You notice strange formations rising from the salt flats, vast, crystalline structures, like immense, twisted towers of pure salt, some hundreds of feet high. They gleam under the crimson sun, refracting its harsh light into a dizzying display of orange and red. These are not geological formations from your time. These are the crystallized remnants of minerals dissolved in the ancient oceans, precipitated out over eons as the water slowly evaporated. They stand as silent sentinels, monuments to a vanished liquid world. You try to climb one of the smaller salt pillars, hoping for a better view. But the material is brittle and sharp, crumbling under your weight. Your hands are cut and bleeding, the dark liquid oozing again, stinging fiercely from the salt. You pull back, defeated, the effort leaving you even more exhausted. The sheer vastness of this former ocean floor, stretching beyond what your eyes can perceive, makes your journey feel utterly futile. How long would it take to cross even a fraction of this a day a week? You know, with a grim certainty, that you don't have that kind of time. The heat in this basin is even more intense than on the plains. The white salt reflects the sun's glare with blinding intensity, assaulting your already strained eyes. You feel the beginnings of disorientation, your thoughts becoming sluggish and muddled. This is pure, unfiltered environmental hostility, a place where life, as you know it, simply cannot exist. Academic debates often center on whether extremophile life forms could have adapted to such extreme desiccation. But the evidence here suggests even they succumbed to the ultimate heat death. As you stumble across the salt flat, you notice something truly peculiar, embedded within the salt crust. Almost completely encrusted and obscured are faint, spiral-like patterns. They are incredibly subtle, requiring you to squint and focus to discern them. They aren't perfect, like the patterns in the vitrified glass, but more organic, irregular. Could these be the fossilized imprints of ancient marine life, compressed and preserved within the very salt of their vanished home? Perhaps the ghost of a giant ammonite, or some colossal, unknown cephalopod, now reduced to a faint impression in a sea of salt. It's a truly unique and rarely considered aspect of planetary desiccation. The idea sends a shiver down your spine, a momentary connection to the vibrant life that once teemed here, now utterly gone. The air thickens even more, becoming almost suffocating. You feel a tightness in your chest, a desperate need for oxygen that isn't being met. Your vision swims, and a wave of nausea washes over you. The salt dust, kicked up by your stumbling feet, coats your mouth and nose, making every breath a burning ordeal. You drop to your knees, gasping, your body racked with uncontrollable shivers despite the oppressive heat. The blue orb in your pocket feels like a tiny furnace against your skin. its pulse stronger, almost urgent. You lie there for a moment, curled on the salt-encrusted ground, the vast, empty ocean basin stretching out around you. The crimson sun beats down, relentless, uncaring. This is the ultimate silence, the complete absence of life. The final chapter of Earth's once thriving aquatic ecosystems. You close your eyes, wishing for a moment of coolness, a drop of water, anything to quench the inferno raging within your body. You remember a joke. Why did the ocean break up with the land? Because it felt too tied down. It's a stupid joke, but in this desolate landscape, it feels strangely profound. A stark contrast to the reality around you. After what feels like an eternity, you force yourself to move again, driven by a primal urge to escape this blinding, suffocating basin. You crawl, then stumble, then finally stagger back to your feet, your limbs feeling like lead. The salt crystals beneath your hands are sharp, biting into your skin, but you barely register the pain. Your focus is solely on reaching the edge of this vast, empty graveyard of water, to escape the crushing weight of its silence and desolation. As you slowly ascend from the basin, the landscape subtly shifts once more. The vast salt flats begin to intersperse with areas of reddish, compacted dust, and then, faintly in the distance, you see them, not trees, not exactly, but shapes, irregular, dark silhouettes against the crimson sky, rising from the barren land like grotesque, petrified sentinels. They are unlike any plant life you have ever seen, twisted and gnarled, hinting at a new, terrifying form of flora that has adapted to this dying world. The idea fills you with a strange mixture of dread and morbid curiosity. What secrets do these mutated forms of life hold? And are they even truly life as you understand it? The answer awaits you, just beyond the edge of this silent, salty tomb. You clamber out of the vast, salt-encrusted basin, your muscles screaming in protest, each breath still a painful, burning intake of dust and salt. The air, while no longer as intensely saline, remains thick and acrid, carrying strange, chemical odors you can't identify. Your eyes, though weary, are drawn to the dark, irregular silhouettes that now dominate the horizon. These are the mutated flora, the twisted bloom of life that has somehow persisted, adapted, and evolved in this utterly transformed world. They are not the vibrant greens and browns of a living forest, but rather a spectrum of muted, unnatural hues, deep purples, rusty reds, and stark blacks, like a macabre tapestry woven from shadows. As you approach, the individual forms become clearer, and they are truly bizarre. Some rise like immense, gnarled sculptures of petrified wood, their branches twisted into agonizing, angular patterns that seem to defy natural growth. Others spread low to the ground, enormous, fleshy lobes that ripple almost imperceptibly, as if breathing. There are no leaves as you know them, instead. Some forms are covered in what appear to be hardened, crystalline plates, while others possess fibrous, whip-like appendages that sway erratically in the still. Heavy air. The ground beneath them is no longer the cracked plane or vitrified glass, but a dark, crumbly soil, rich with an unfamiliar, almost metallic scent. It's clear this isn't just a different climate. It's a different biochemistry altogether. You cautiously step into this alien grove. The silence here profound, broken only by the faint, underlying planetary hum and the rasp of your own breathing. There's an eerie stillness to these forms, a sense of ancient, unmoving patience. You reach out to touch one of the crystalline-plated forms, but hesitate. Its surface seems to shimmer with an internal, almost predatory glow, and a faint, high-pitched hum emanates from within, barely audible, like a distant, distorted song. It reminds you of the mysterious blue orb in your pocket, which still pulses with a reassuringly steady beat against your thigh. This flora, however, feels far less benign. These aren't plants that photosynthesize in the way you understand. The sun, after all, is a swollen, reddish orb, and the atmosphere is thick with chemicals. How do they survive? Do they absorb energy directly from the air? From the very ground? Botanists and exobiologists from your time would endlessly debate the precise metabolic pathways of such organisms, wondering if they relied on chemosynthesis, direct heat absorption, or some entirely novel form of energy conversion. For you, the answer is academic. The survival itself, the chilling mystery. This is life, undeniably. But it is life twisted and contorted into forms born of extreme necessity, a testament to evolution's relentless drive. As you navigate deeper into the grove, some of the forms seem to react to your presence. The whip-like appendages on one of the fleshy, ground-dwelling forms twitch slightly as you pass, almost imperceptibly, but enough to send a jolt of alarm through you. You stop, holding your breath, watching. It remains still. But the sensation of being observed is chillingly real. These aren't just passive flora. Some of them appear to be sentient, or at least possess a rudimentary awareness of their surroundings. This is not a comforting thought. You might have survived the desolation, but now you face a new, living threat. Well, at least I won't die of boredom, you mutter, a nervous laugh escaping your lips. You notice faint, skeletal remains scattered amongst the base of these mutated plants, not human, thankfully, but elongated, strangely jointed bones. Whatever creatures once roamed here, they are now food for this strange, silent vegetation. The thought makes your stomach churn, a mixture of nausea and morbid fascination. Are these plants carnivorous, or do they simply absorb nutrients from decaying organic matter? The answer, you realize, might be one you don't want to discover firsthand. The air becomes heavier here, laden with a cloying, sickly sweet scent that makes your head swim. It's the smell of decay, yes, but also something else. Something synthetic and oddly metallic. It's the scent of 1 billion years of alien evolution, a perfume of death and strange life. You try to cover your nose and mouth with your shirt, but the smell permeates everything, making you feel increasingly disoriented and nauseous. Your vision blurs at the edges, and the oppressive silence of the grove seems to press in on you, amplified by the strange, disquieting sounds emanating from the flora. Suddenly, a low, guttural thrum vibrates through the ground beneath your feet, far deeper and more resonant than the constant planetary hum. It comes from one of the colossal, gnarled structures nearby, a tree of petrified-looking material, easily 50 feet tall, its twisted branches reaching towards the crimson sky. The vibrations intensify, and you notice faint, irregular pulsations of light emanating from within its bark, a deep, ominous red. This isn't just passive life. This is something truly active, something potentially dangerous. This detail of internal bioluminescence in petrified-looking flora would be completely unknown to any scientist from your time. It suggests a level of biological energy storage and transfer far beyond anything imagined. You back away slowly, your heart pounding, the urge to escape this place overwhelming. The air, heavy with that sickly sweet smell, makes your head spin. You stumble over a low-lying root-like structure, falling to your knees. Your vision swims, and for a moment, the world goes black. You come to, gasping, your hand instinctively clutching the blue orb in your pocket. It's pulsing fiercely now, radiating a noticeable warmth, and its blue light is almost blinding through your thin clothing. It feels like a living thing, reacting to your distress, perhaps even trying to help. You force yourself up, your limbs heavy, your mind foggy. You need to get out of this grove, away from these strange, predatory plants. The path ahead is unclear, obscured by the bizarre forms and the oppressive gloom cast by their towering heights. The crimson sun, filtered through the thick atmosphere and the twisted branches, paints the ground in eerie, shifting patterns of light and shadow, making navigation even more difficult. You feel an increasing sense of panic, the knowledge that your time is running out, that each breath brings you closer to the inevitable. As you push through a particularly dense cluster of the whip-like plants, one of the appendages brushes against your arm. It feels strangely cold, despite the intense heat of the air, and leaves a faint, tingling sensation. You quickly pull away, examining your skin. There's no visible mark, but the tingling persists, a strange, creeping numbness. Was it a defensive mechanism? A mild neurotoxin? You can only guess. But the experience reinforces the danger of this alien ecosystem. You remember a historical fact, the Cambrian explosion, while a period of immense biodiversity also saw the rapid evolution of complex predatory-prey relationships, fundamentally altering the course of life on Earth. Here, 1 billion years later, life's predatory instincts have clearly taken an even more bizarre and terrifying turn. You press on, driven by a primal fear, the scent of the flora growing stronger, the low thrumming of the colossal trees resonating through your very bones. The blue orb continues its frantic pulsing, its light a beacon in the encroaching gloom. It feels like your only companion, your only ally in this hostile, unfathomable future. You are desperate to escape this mutated garden, to find a place where the air doesn't burn, where the plants don't watch, and where the silence isn't so profoundly unsettling. But where could such a place possibly exist on an Earth 1 billion years from now? The question hangs heavy in the toxic air as you stumble onward, the last vestiges of your strength fading with each agonizing step. You finally stumble out of the mutated grove, the strange, sickly sweet scent and the unsettling thrumming fading behind you, replaced once more by the pervasive metallic tang of the open air. Your lungs burn, your head aches, and the subtle tingling from the contact with the plant still lingers on your arm. As you emerge from the twilight of the alien flora, the full force of the crimson sun assaults you again, casting long, distorted shadows across a new, yet equally desolate, landscape. This time. However, there's a new, subtle oppression, a pervasive weight that feels different from the heat or the toxic air. It's a feeling of being subtly but undeniably heavier. Every step you take now feels like trudging through thick mud, even though the ground beneath you is a dry, compacted reddish dust, interspersed with small, dark, pebble-like fragments. Your limbs, already weary from your journey, feel like they're encased in lead, lifting your feet, swinging your arms. Even the simple act of holding your head up requires conscious, agonizing effort. It's not just fatigue, it's a distinct, physical drag, as if an invisible hand is constantly pressing you down. This is the subtle but pervasive increase in gravity, a silent killer that saps your strength with every passing moment. You try to make sense of it. Has the Earth somehow accumulated more mass, or has its core condensed, increasing its gravitational pull? Geophysicists from your time would intensely debate the long-term stability of planetary cores, with some theories suggesting gradual accretion or contraction over billions of years, leading to minute but significant gravitational shifts. For you, the reason is irrelevant. The effect is immediate and devastating. Each labored breath, each struggling movement, reminds you that the very fundamental forces of the planet have turned against you. Your internal monologue is less a flow of thought and more a desperate litany of left foot, right foot, breathe. You let out a short, strained grunt. Guess I skipped leg day for a billion years? You wheeze, a grimace on your face. The blue orb in your pocket, your only companion, feels surprisingly heavy now. Its subtle pulsations a steady, comforting rhythm against your thigh. You pull it out. Examining it, its light seems slightly dimmed, almost as if it too is struggling against this invisible weight. Or perhaps it's just reflecting your own fading energy. You hold it in your palm, its coolness a fleeting solace against your feverish skin. It hums, a low, almost imperceptible sound, a stark contrast to the overwhelming silence of the landscape around you. The landscape itself is a monotonous expanse of reddish dust, broken by low, rounded hills that seem to sag under their own weight. There are no signs of the previous vitrified plains or the salt basins, just this endless, heavy dust. The crimson sun hangs like a malevolent eye in the hazy sky, its light diffused and softened by the incredibly thick, oppressive atmosphere, making the air feel even more dense. The visibility is poor, a constant haze that blurs the distant horizon, adding to your sense of isolation and disorientation. Your muscles ache, a deep, pervasive soreness that settles into your very bones. Simple actions become monumental tasks. Bending down to examine a curious rock is an agonizing effort. Standing back up is an exercise in pure willpower. You notice the ground beneath you is subtly compacted, almost like finely powdered concrete, a testament to the immense gravitational forces pressing down for eons. Small, dark, crystalline fragments are embedded in the dust, glinting dully as you pass. They are uniformly shaped, almost like tiny, petrified drops of liquid, but their origin is a complete mystery. Another bizarre detail from this far future Earth, a testament to processes completely unknown to your current scientific understanding. You begin to notice small, circular depressions in the dusty ground, perfectly formed, almost as if something incredibly heavy and perfectly round had rested there. They are numerous, stretching out in rows, hinting at some repetitive process or perhaps the movement of some immense, unseen creature. But there are no tracks leading to or from them, only the perfectly formed impressions. What could have caused these? The mind reels at the possibilities, none of them comforting. The air continues to burn, the chemical tang now mixed with a gritty sensation in your mouth and throat. You can practically taste the dust, feel it coating your lungs. Your breathing is shallow, ragged, and each exhalation is a desperate gasp for more of that thin, toxic air. You're fighting not just exhaustion, but the very planet itself, which seems intent on crushing you into its unforgiving surface. You stumble, catching yourself just before you fall, your knees buckling under the strain. Just a little further. You gasp, the words barely audible. You try to remember something from your own time, a pleasant memory to distract from the agonizing reality. You think of a cool breeze on a summer day, the feeling of weightlessness in water, the effortless joy of a jump. All seem impossibly distant now, luxuries of a world that no longer exists. Here, every movement is a struggle against an invisible adversary, a constant battle against the planet's crushing embrace. Ancient myths from various cultures often depict Earth as a living entity, sometimes benevolent, sometimes wrathful. Here, a billion years later, she is undeniably indifferent, slowly suffocating any life that dares to exist on her surface. The crimson sun, though diffused by the haze, still feels incredibly hot, radiating an oppressive warmth that sears your skin. But the primary sensation now is the gravity, the sheer effort required for simply existing. Your body begins to ache in new ways, deep within your joints, a dull, throbbing pain that signals the strain on your skeletal system. You slump against a low, rounded hill. The effort of staying upright too much. The blue orb in your pocket radiates a faint, comforting warmth, its pulsations a steady, insistent rhythm, like a distant heartbeat. You realize, with a strange sense of clarity, that you are not just fighting the heat or the toxic air, but the very physics of this future Earth. This gravitational pull is a constant, grinding force, slowly but surely pulling you towards inevitable collapse. You let out a weak, tired chuckle. At least I won't float away. You murmur. The silence here is punctuated only by your own labored breathing and the low, distant hum of the Earth itself, a sound you've come to recognize as the planet's ancient. Relentless pulse. There are no other sounds, no wind, no distant rumbling, nothing. Just the silence and the constant, crushing weight. It's the silence of ultimate stagnation, of a world so utterly transformed that the very concept of sound seems almost irrelevant. You gaze out across the hazy, reddish expanse, the world a blur of muted colors and oppressive weight. You know, deep down, that you cannot escape this crushing embrace. Your journey is nearing its end, not with a bang, but with the slow, agonizing squeeze of an ancient dying world. The crushing weight of increased gravity continues to bear down on you, making every movement a Herculean effort. Your body aches, a deep, pervasive soreness that signals the strain on your skeletal system as you push onward. The monotonous reddish dust begins to give way to vast, flat plains, but these are not empty. Instead, they are covered in strange, crystalline structures that rise from the ground like skeletal, petrified forests. Their surfaces are smooth, almost polished, reflecting the muted crimson light of the sun in eerie, fractured patterns. The air here, already thick and oppressive, now carries an even heavier silence, a profound stillness that feels less like an absence of sound and more like the active suppression of it. This is the realm of sonic annihilation, where the world is so eerily quiet. It becomes a terrifying presence. You try to call out, to hear the sound of your own voice, but the words die in your throat, absorbed by the heavy atmosphere. A whisper, a shout, even a cough, all seem muted, swallowed almost immediately. It's not just that there are no external sounds, it's as if sound itself struggles to propagate through this alien medium. The lack of familiar auditory input is deeply unsettling, disorienting. Your ears strain, searching for any familiar hum, a distant rumble, anything to break the profound quiet. But there is only the faint, constant hum of the planet itself, now almost imperceptible beneath the overwhelming silence. This silence is less peaceful and more menacing, an absence that feels like a weight pressing on your eardrums. You stumble through this silent, crystalline forest, the polished surfaces of the structures gleaming with a cold, unnatural light. They are not natural formations. They are too uniform, too perfectly aligned in certain areas, hinting at an unknown purpose. Some rise in immense, unbroken sheets, stretching hundreds of feet into the hazy sky, while others form intricate, geometric patterns on the ground, almost like colossal, abstract art. What could have created such a sound-absorbing, crystal-laden landscape? Was it a natural phenomenon, perhaps from extreme heat and pressure, or the byproduct of some ancient, long-forgotten technology? Scholars in your time often debate the possibility of acoustic dead zones caused by unique atmospheric compositions or advanced vibrational dampeners. But here, the entire world seems to be such a zone. The thought sends a shiver down your spine. A world where sound itself has ceased to be a reliable medium. You try tapping one of the crystalline structures with your hand instead of a sharp crack or a hollow resonance. There's only a dull thud, a flat, dead sound that seems to dissipate almost instantly. It's like hitting a dense, sound-absorbing foam, but instead, it's a solid, unyielding crystal. The sensation is bizarre, completely counterintuitive. Your ears, accustomed to the constant background noise of your own world, struggle to adjust to this profound auditory void. It's a silence that screams, a lack of input that sends a primal alarm through your brain. The blue orb in your pocket continues its faint, steady pulse, its light now seeming almost amplified in the profound silence. A tiny beacon in a world devoid of sensory input. You pull it out, holding it up. Its blue light, though dim, seems to cast surprisingly sharp shadows on the crystalline surfaces around you. It feels slightly heavier than before, almost as if it's absorbing the very silence, growing denser with the lack of sound. Or perhaps that's just your mind playing tricks on you, seeking patterns and meaning where there is none. As you wander through the crystalline expanse, you notice peculiar, almost microscopic vibrations emanating from the ground. They are too faint to feel, but you can see them distorting the light reflected off the crystalline surfaces, creating shimmering, almost iridescent patterns that ripple across the landscape. These are not seismic tremors. They are too regular, too precise. Could they be the residual vibrations of some ancient, colossal machinery, now long silent, but leaving behind an energetic ghost? Or perhaps the subtle, unnoticed movements of the planet itself, now made visible only by the extreme quiet. It's a unique and scarcely considered detail. The idea of ambient planetary vibrations becoming a visual phenomenon. You almost trip over one of the crystalline growths, catching yourself just in time. Well, at least I won't have to listen to myself complain anymore. You murmur, the words feeling utterly weightless in the soundless air. The silence here is not just an absence. It feels like a presence, a heavy, oppressive blanket that smothers all life, all noise. It amplifies your own internal sounds, the thumping of your heart, the ragged gasp of your breath, the ringing in your ears, making them feel unnaturally loud and intrusive. You feel utterly alone, cut off from any potential communication, any distant signal that might offer hope. This profound auditory isolation is a torture in itself, a psychological burden that adds to the crushing weight of gravity and the burning air. You eventually stumble upon an area where the crystalline structures give way to large, perfectly smooth, obsidian-like plates. They are laid out with unnatural precision, forming a vast, geometric pattern that extends beyond your sight. These aren't natural rock. They are clearly artificial, perhaps a colossal landing platform, or some vast, power-generating array from a bygone civilization. What kind of beings would build such a structure? In a world of profound silence and crushing gravity, their technological prowess must have been immense. Their resilience unimaginable. You touch one of the plates. It's cold and utterly smooth, reflecting the crimson sun like a dark mirror as you stand on the obsidian plate. The feeling of pressure increases, a subtle, almost imperceptible surge in the already crushing gravity. Your knees buckle, and you find yourself struggling to remain upright. It's as if this specific area amplifies the gravitational pull, drawing you down with even greater force. You desperately try to move, to crawl away, but your muscles scream in protest, refusing to obey. The blue orb in your pocket, meanwhile, is now pulsing with an urgent, almost frenetic energy. Its light brighter, its warmth more intense. It feels like it's struggling against the same oppressive force, or perhaps trying to counteract it. This is a truly unique, rarely documented phenomenon of localized gravitational anomalies in extreme planetary conditions. You grit your teeth, pushing against the invisible weight. A desperate, silent battle for survival. You close your eyes for a moment, trying to find some respite from the visual and physical assault. When you open them again, the crimson sun seems lower, larger, casting even longer, more distorted shadows across the silent, crystalline plains. You are disoriented, losing your sense of time in this bizarre, unchanging landscape. The profound silence, the crushing gravity, the burning air, it all merges into a single, overwhelming sensory deprivation. You are simply existing, enduring, minute by agonizing minute. There is no escape, no relief, only the slow, inevitable creep towards the end of your day. Your single day, in this impossibly distant future. The oppressive silence and crushing gravity continue their relentless assault. But as you finally manage to drag yourself away from the strange, crystalline plains, the landscape begins a subtle, yet profound, transformation. The low-lying haze that has clung to the horizon starts to thin, revealing a sky unlike anything you've witnessed before. This isn't just the familiar, angry crimson orb of the sun. This is a canvas painted with impossible light, where new, brilliant points of light glitter amidst swirling nebulae of unimaginable color. This is the shifting sky, a cosmic spectacle unveiled, a testament to 1 billion years of stellar evolution and galactic drift. You stumble forward, your head tilted back, your breath catching in your throat, not just from exhaustion, but from sheer awe. What were once familiar constellations are gone, replaced by sprawling, luminous clouds of gas and dust, vast cosmic nurseries or the ethereal remnants of exploded stars. Distant galaxies, once mere smudges of light, are now discernible as swirling spirals, their forms distorted and stretched by the passage of unimaginable time and the gravitational lensing of dark matter. The crimson sun, while still immense and dominating, now shares the sky with brighter, hotter stars, some appearing as brilliant, alien suns in their own right, casting unfamiliar shadows across the desolate land. You realize, with a chilling certainty, that your galaxy, the Milky Way, has undergone a profound transformation. Perhaps it has merged with Andromeda, a cosmic collision long foretold, now a breathtaking and terrifying reality. Astronomers in your time have extensively modeled the Andromeda-Milky Way collision, but the precise morphology of the resulting Milkomeda galaxy remains a subject of ongoing academic debate, with various simulations predicting vastly different outcomes over billions of years. Here, the evidence is undeniable. Painted across the heavens in fiery strokes of starlight, the blue orb in your pocket, your constant companion, feels strangely resonant with this cosmic display, its faint internal light seeming to pulse in harmony with the distant stellar flashes. The ground beneath you is still the reddish, compacted dust, but now it's littered with tiny, metallic fragments that reflect the bizarre hues of the sky, shimmering like scattered jewels. You kneel down, the effort immense. To examine one, it's a perfect, almost iridescent shard, glinting with blues and purples. Is it meteoric dust from 1 billion years of bombardment? Or perhaps the remnants of ancient, shattered satellites, now raining down on a dying Earth. It's a small, insignificant detail, yet it speaks volumes about the constant cosmic ballet that has unfolded over untold millennia. As you gaze upwards, a sudden, blinding flash erupts on the horizon, followed by a slow, ethereal expansion of light. It's too distant to feel any heat, too silent to hear any sound, but it is unmistakably a supernova, the fiery death of a colossal star. The light spreads outwards, painting the already vibrant sky with new, temporary swathes of iridescent green and violet. It's a moment of cosmic violence, beautiful and terrifying, a reminder of the immense, uncaring forces at play in the universe. You can almost feel the faint pressure of stellar winds, the ghostly echo of a cosmic breath, though logically, it's impossible. You let out a weak chuckle. Well, at least I got a good light show before the end. The air, while still harsh, feels marginally different here, perhaps thinned slightly by the stellar winds, or infused with trace elements from the constant cosmic bombardment. It still burns your lungs, but the choking sensation is less pronounced. However, the crushing gravity remains, a constant, debilitating force that makes even looking up at the sky an agonizing strain on your neck. You long to lie down, to simply succumb to the pull. But a morbid curiosity, a desperate need to witness these impossible wonders, keeps you on your feet. You notice something else? Something even more unsettling in the vastness of the sky. Amidst the swirling nebulae and new constellations, there are distinct, dark patches, vast cosmic voids where no stars seem to exist. They are not merely empty spaces, they appear to actively absorb the light of the stars around them, creating unsettling, black holes in the fabric of the universe. Are these rogue black holes adrift in the galaxy? Or perhaps something far more sinister, a sign of some unknown cosmic entity consuming light itself? Cosmologists in your time extensively researched the distribution of dark matter and dark energy, and the evolution of supermassive black holes. But such visibly light-eating voids would present an entirely new and terrifying frontier. As you continue your slow, agonizing progress across the heavily gravitized plane, your eyes fixed on the cosmic ballet above, you begin to feel a strange, almost spiritual connection to the vastness of time and space. You are a microscopic speck on a dying planet, witnessing the grand, indifferent dance of the cosmos. Your individual struggle, your impending doom, seems insignificant against the backdrop of billions of years of stellar birth and death. Yet, paradoxically, it also feels profoundly important, a final, conscious awareness of the universe's immense power and beauty. The blue orb in your pocket is glowing more intensely now, its warmth spreading through your clothing, almost like a faint comfort. Its light seems to flicker in sync with the distant stars, as if it is drawing energy from them, or perhaps communicating with them on some profound, incomprehensible level. You hold it up, its blue light a sharp, vivid contrast to the crimson hues of the sky and the reddish dust of the ground. It feels ancient, perhaps as old as the stars themselves, a survivor of eons, and for a fleeting moment, you feel less alone. You push yourself onward, one agonizing step after another, driven by the desire to witness one more cosmic wonder before your body finally gives out. The sky above you is a dizzying, ever-changing masterpiece of light and shadow, a silent symphony of stellar evolution unfolding across a billion years. It is the ultimate, beautiful, and terrifying spectacle, the final, grand performance on the stage of a dying world. The cosmic ballet above, though breathtaking, offers little respite from the harsh realities of Earth a billion years hence. The crushing gravity persists, each step a monument to sheer willpower, and the toxic air continues to burn your lungs with every ragged breath. But as you push through the final, dust-laden plains, a new terror begins to assert itself, a chilling absence that feels more profound than any noise, the unbearable quiet. This isn't merely the lack of sound, it's an active, suffocating stillness that presses in on your mind, amplifying every internal tremor, every desperate gasp. You find yourself entering an immense, desolate valley, its floor a vast expanse of dark, fine-grained dust, reflecting the crimson light of the distant sun in a dull, oppressive sheen. The valley walls rise steeply, sheer faces of dark, featureless rock, trapping the oppressive silence within their confines. No wind whistles through unseen gaps. No distant rumble echoes from beyond the horizon. It's a vacuum of sound, so complete that your ears begin to ache with the effort of trying to hear anything at all. You try to speak, to call out, but the sound dies almost instantly, absorbed by the heavy atmosphere, a faint, choked whisper that barely leaves your lips. This profound auditory void is disorienting, unsettling your balance and making the already oppressive gravity feel even heavier. Without the subtle cues of sound, the rustle of clothing, the crunch of dust underfoot, the beat of your own heart resounding in your ears, your brain struggles to make sense of your environment. You lift a foot, and instead of the familiar scrape, there's only a strange, muted squish, as if walking on something incredibly dense and silent. It's like moving through a dream, where the rules of reality are subtly, terrifyingly altered. At least I won't have to listen to the sound of my own complaining. You manage to wheeze, the words feeling alien and dead in the overwhelming quiet. The blue orb in your pocket, your silent companion, now feels like a tiny, vibrating heart, its pulsations almost imperceptible in the profound silence. But its warmth is a steady comfort against your skin. You pull it out, holding it up. Its dim blue light seems to throb with a faint, internal rhythm, as if trying to project a sound that the world simply won't allow. It's a tiny, defiant beacon against the crushing quiet. A small point of life in a world of profound death. As you struggle across the valley floor, you notice peculiar formations emerging from the dark dust. Low, perfectly smooth mounds, like giant, petrified ripples. They are too uniform, too precise to be natural. They stretch across the valley in perfectly concentric circles, gradually diminishing in size towards the center. What could have created these? Are they the silent echoes of ancient seismic activity, preserved over eons, or perhaps the remnants of colossal, silent machinery, long buried and forgotten, leaving only these enigmatic impressions? Geologists in your time extensively study the effects of long-term erosion and sedimentation on planetary surfaces, but such perfectly circular, vast formations without discernible source points remain a significant unresolved academic debate. The mystery is profound. Yet in this silent world, it offers no comfort, only more questions. The air here feels even thicker than before, almost viscous, making each breath a monumental effort. It's laced with a new, subtle, almost sweet, but still chemical, odor. It clings to your nostrils, making your head feel fuzzy and your thoughts sluggish. You can feel your body protesting, every cell screaming for oxygen, for fresh air, for the familiar sounds of a living world. The silence amplifies every internal sensation. The pounding in your temples, the burning in your lungs, the dull ache in your muscles, turning them into a relentless, internal cacophony. You stumble and fall, your exhausted body finally giving way to the combined assault of gravity and the toxic, silent air. You lie there for a moment, face down in the dark dust, your ragged breath stirring tiny clouds around your face. The blue orb presses against your chest, its faint warmth the only thing tethering you to a semblance of reality. You try to push yourself up, but your limbs refuse to obey, heavy, unresponsive. Suddenly, a strange, almost imperceptible tremor ripples through the ground beneath you. It's not a sound, not a vibration you can feel with your hands, but rather a subtle visual distortion in the dust around you. A fleeting shimmer that seems to emanate from the very core of the earth. It's like the world itself is sighing, a vast, silent exhalation that shakes the very ground. This is an entirely unique and rarely considered phenomenon, the visual manifestation of seismic activity in a soundless environment. It fills you with a chilling sense of dread. The knowledge that even the planet's internal forces are now expressing themselves in alien ways. You force yourself to roll onto your back, gazing up at the hazy, crimson sky. The distant, shimmering celestial phenomena still play out their silent cosmic drama. But even they seem muted, their light absorbed by the heavy atmosphere. The overwhelming silence of the valley is a palpable presence, a vast, crushing weight that seems to bear down on you from all directions. You are not just alone. You are completely isolated, cut off from any conceivable form of interaction with the outside world. The profound quiet is a prison, and your own labored breathing is the only soundtrack to your impending demise. You let out a weak, desperate laugh. "Guess I won't be needing earplugs tonight," you whisper. The words barely a puff of air in the suffocating stillness as your strength continues to ebb. You find a strange, almost serene acceptance settling over you. The struggles, the pains, the terrifying wonders, they are all part of this singular, impossible day. You close your eyes. The last image burned into your mind, the vast, silent valley and the red, dying sun. The silence deepens, becoming absolute, swallowing even the faint hum of the blue orb, which now seems to pulse with a desperate, fading light. The unbearable quiet of the valley continues to press in on you, a physical weight that amplifies every fading sensation. Your body, battered by crushing gravity and burning air, now barely responds, each movement an agonizing act of will, as you lie there, utterly spent. Your eyes drift upwards, past the immediate, hazy crimson of the atmosphere, to the truly alien spectacle that is the shifting sky. It's no longer just a backdrop. It has become an active, dynamic force, a cosmic theater unfolding its final, terrifying acts. The stars, once distant pinpricks, are now impossibly bright, some appearing swollen and distorted, their light bleeding into the dense atmosphere in hazy, vibrant halos of blue, white, and even green. These aren't the familiar twinkling lights of your night sky. These are the raw, unbridled energies of stellar giants, many likely in their final, brilliant stages of life. You realize, with a chilling certainty, that you are witnessing the accelerating demise of the galaxy itself. As stars burn through their fuel at an unprecedented rate, hastened by cosmic forces beyond your comprehension, you see immense, swirling clouds of gas and dust, nebulae of unimaginable scale, not just in distant spirals, but directly overhead, painting the sky with impossible strokes of phosphorescent purple, electric blue, and fiery orange. These are the remnants of countless stellar explosions, the nurseries of stars yet to be born, or perhaps the funeral shrouds of those that have already lived and died. It's a vision of breathtaking, terrifying beauty, a grand, indifferent cosmic dance that unfolds with a silence so profound it makes the back of your neck prickle. The blue orb in your pocket, your last tangible link to a world that isn't completely alien, suddenly flares with an intense, internal light. It pulses with a rapid, almost frantic rhythm, its blue glow cutting through the reddish haze of the atmosphere, momentarily illuminating the dark dust around you. It feels hot against your chest, as if it's drawing energy directly from the cosmic spectacle above, or perhaps desperately trying to communicate with something out there. You lift your hand, weakly, the orb nestled in your palm, its light a small, defiant beacon against the immense, uncaring universe. This sudden, amplified luminescence is an unprecedented phenomenon, a direct connection between an artifact and the very cosmic forces surrounding it. Something that would baffle even the most advanced astrophysicists from your time. As you stare at the sky, you notice that some of the stars, previously stable, begin to waver, their light flickering like dying embers before winking out entirely, one after another, in a slow, inexorable march towards darkness. These aren't just distant stars. Some are clearly within what would have been your own galactic neighborhood, now succumbing to the relentless march of entropy. This is the fading light, the ultimate testament to the universe's eventual heat death, playing out before your very eyes. Each star's demise is a silent scream, a billion-year warning of the inevitable end. Suddenly, a massive, dark silhouette, utterly devoid of light, passes slowly across the face of a brilliant, blue-white giant star. It's too large to be a planet, too regular to be a natural cosmic cloud. It's something immense, something artificial, or at least, something with an incredibly distinct and unnatural form. It blots out the star entirely for several long moments, a moving void against the cosmic backdrop, before continuing its silent, majestic trajectory across the heavens. What was it? A colossal, ancient derelict spacecraft, a Dyson sphere, constructed by some hyper-advanced civilization to harness a star's dying energy or something far more mysterious. A cosmic entity traversing the void. Exoplanetary scientists and SETI researchers would argue endlessly about the true nature of such a megastructure, with some proposing alien technology and others more exotic natural phenomena. Here, its presence is a chilling, silent question mark in the face of oblivion. The air continues to burn, but your body is now so numb, so utterly exhausted, that the pain registers only as a dull, distant throb. The sensation of crushing gravity is now almost integrated into your being, as if you were born with this impossible weight. Your breathing is shallow, ragged, each gasp a desperate plea for a life that is rapidly slipping away. Yet, despite the pain, despite the terror, there's a strange sense of privilege, a morbid wonder at being the sole witness to such a magnificent, horrifying display. You watch as more stars fade, as nebulae swirl and dissipate, as the cosmic tableau slowly, inevitably, transforms into something colder, darker, and more silent. The sky is no longer just a visual spectacle. It feels like a vast, breathing entity, slowly exhaling its last breath. The blue orb in your hand flickers violently, its light now dimming, its warmth fading, mirroring the dying light of the universe around you. It's a profound moment of connection. The end of a long, impossible journey, as both you and your silent companion succumb to the forces of time and decay. The silence of the valley is absolute, broken only by the faint, ringing echo in your ears, a residual effect of your straining senses. There are no more jokes, no more ironic comments, just the profound stillness, the oppressive weight, and the silent, beautiful death of the universe playing out above you. Your vision blurs. The vibrant colors of the nebulae bleeding into each other, the distant, dying stars becoming faint, blurry smudges, the last thing you see, before your eyelids grow too heavy to resist, is the slow, majestic drift of a vast, cosmic dust cloud, obscuring the last vestiges of familiar light, plunging the sky into an even deeper, more profound darkness. The silence of the dying world has deepened to an absolute stillness, broken only by the faint, ringing echo in your own ears, the final, internal symphony of a body shutting down. The crushing gravity has now become an integral part of your being, a profound weight that holds you immobile, your limbs heavy and unresponsive, as the last vestiges of your strength ebb away. You find a strange, almost serene acceptance settling over you. This is the fading light, the final, weary rest, the ultimate conclusion of your impossible journey. Your vision blurs. The vibrant colors of the nebulae bleeding into each other, the distant, dying stars becoming faint, blurry smudges against the now profoundly dark sky. The air, though still toxic, no longer burns. Your nerves are simply too numb to register the pain. Your breathing, once ragged and desperate, has slowed to an almost imperceptible flutter, each exhalation a gentle sigh into the void. The world around you, once terrifyingly hostile, now seems to recede, becoming a distant, indistinct memory. The blue orb, your last companion, now rests beside you, its light a mere whisper, a faint, almost invisible blue glow against the dark. Dusty ground. It pulses no more. Its energy seemingly depleted, its purpose fulfilled. It has witnessed your struggle, your awe, your despair, and now it too succumbs to the vast, indifferent forces of time and decay. Its coolness against your hand is the last tactile sensation you register, a fleeting anchor to a reality that is quickly slipping away. You reflect, in these final moments, on the sheer unlikeliness of your journey. To have witnessed 1 billion years of Earth's evolution in a single, agonizing day. To have seen oceans disappear, mountains erode, stars die, and life mutate into forms beyond imagination. It's a privilege, a horrifying and beautiful one, to be the last conscious observer of such a profound cosmic narrative. Philosophers and theologians have long debated humanity's place in the universe, our fleeting existence against the backdrop of eternity. Here, in this final moment, you embody that very question, a single, flickering consciousness against 1 billion years of oblivion. The silence is absolute now, consuming even the faint hum that once emanated from the planet's core. The cosmic forces that once painted the sky with light have moved beyond your perception, leaving behind only the profound darkness of deep space, punctuated by the almost imperceptible glow of dying embers. You are utterly alone. Yet in this ultimate solitude, there is a strange sense of peace. The struggle is over. The pain is fading. There is nothing left but the quiet. Your thoughts drift, fragmented images of your own world, your own time, swirling through your mind like dust motes in a dying light. The laughter of loved ones, the warmth of a familiar bed, the simple joy of a summer breeze. They are distant, ephemeral, yet strangely vivid in their fleeting appearance. You are letting go, willingly surrendering to the inevitable, embracing the vast, cold embrace of eternity. As your senses dim further, the overwhelming gravitational pull feels less like a burden and more like a gentle, final embrace, pulling you softly into the dark, comforting earth. The distinction between your body and the dust beneath you blurs, dissolving into a singular, undifferentiated mass. You are becoming one with this ancient, weary planet, a part of its silent, enduring history. Your single day, a billion years in the future, concludes not with a roar, but with a whisper, a gentle fading into the profound, cosmic night. Here's the cool down section to help you drift off. Now, as the last echoes of that impossible journey fade, let your mind release the images of the desolate plains and the shifting, silent skies. Feel the tension ease from your muscles, the subtle hum of the world around you gently guiding you deeper into relaxation. Imagine the gentle pull of gravity becoming a soft blanket, holding you securely, safely. The air around you is clean, cool, and effortless to breathe, filling your lungs with peace and calm. All the wonders and terrors of that distant future are just whispers in the wind, dissolving into the quiet comfort of your own space. Let your thoughts soften, blurring at the edges, like distant lights on a sleepy horizon. There's nothing left to do, nowhere left to be, but here, in this moment of perfect stillness